That helper was a woman. I really felt embarrassed, but it seemed as if she had done this maybe 1,000 times. She stripped me naked. Then she took another basin that was filled with water. That water, my brother, it was really cold. She started bathing me with that cold water. The water was so cold, and I could not understand it because in that village there was no electricity. But it seemed as if this water came straight from the fridge. But after she had bathed me, I thought that she was going to give me some clothes so that I can be warm. Already they had taken my clothes, but she just got out of that room. She didn't speak with me. Then she locked me inside. I tried to open that door. That is when I realized that the door had been locked from the outside. I wanted to cry. I wanted to scream, and I kept on regretting why I had decided to leave my own country in search of this revenge. That room, my brother, it was really cold, and the floor was wet because from the way that she had bathed me, I saw that they used this room to bath a lot of people. There was no way I could sit because the whole floor was really cold. I just stood in a corner until I almost collapsed because I was really feeling cold. That is when I started to hear a lot of movements that was going on in that room, but still I could not see anything because in that room it was really dark. Then when it was around 2 a.m., that is when another guy came and he collected me from that room. He instructed me to follow him. He could not speak. Me and him, we could not communicate because we spoke two different languages, but he just used his hands that I should follow him. I followed him outside. Then he made me to kneel down. At that time, I was really shaking from the cold because it felt as if the cold had entered me straight to the bone. When I was kneeling like that, Brother Nashi, that man, he didn't even feel sorry for me. He poured me with 5 buckets of cold water. By the time that he poured the 5th bucket on my body, I really wanted to run away. Maybe this is the reason why that Sangoma had said that I don't have what it takes to be rich. I pleaded with him not to pour the bucket of water on my body because this made me to feel even cold. I felt as if someone was removing my skin. This happened for about 3 days. I never saw the sun for 3 days. I was always locked inside that room. I didn't eat anything, and as someone who was suffering from high blood pressure, I really struggled because I still remember that there were times when I would feel so weak from hunger, then I would just collapse. But when I would wake up, I would find myself locked up in that room naked, and the room was always dark. But when it was in the evening, at 11 p.m., then at 2 p.m., then at 5 a.m. That is when one of that Sangoma's assistants will come into that room and take me outside so that they can pour the cold water on my body. Then after 3 days, that is when they came, then they gave me my clothes and they made soft porridge, which was really soft for me to eat. But it was traditional soft porridge without anything. It didn't have any meat or vegetables. I just ate it like that. After this process was completed, I returned back to the consultation room. Then that man made my father to appear again as if I was watching a bioscope. My father was appearing in the wall. Then he gave me a needle and I was supposed to stab my father with a needle. He told me that you can stab him anyway on his body, but I chose to stab him on his heart. After that, that is when I was given an instruction to buy an empty bag. I could not even walk at that time because 3 days without eating, I was really feeling weak. I then sent my friend to go and buy a bag for me. It was like one of those traveling bags, not the Monarch with the wheels. He went and he bought the bag for me, and that sangoma, I don't know what he did with that bag, but he placed something that looked to be so heavy inside that bag. When he was placing that thing that I could not understand in that bag, I was actually asking myself, how am I going to carry this thing that seems to be so heavy? But after he had done all of the rituals, I was really surprised when my friend picked up the bag. It was empty. There was nothing in there. I was scared to ask that sangoma. I thought that if I asked him, he was going to remove all of the powers that he had put in my body, because at that time he kept on saying that, I don't think that you are strong to be rich. Are you strong enough? So I really didn't have any confidence to ask him, why is it the thing that you placed in this bag, it has suddenly disappeared? Me and my friend, we returned back to his village. So he told me that he wanted to make plans so that we can return back to South Africa before the 5th of January. So me and him, we got onto another bus, then we traveled back to South Africa. When I arrived back home, my brother, that is when I started to experience good luck. I experienced good luck like I have never experienced good luck in my life. I was meeting people that were giving me contracts. Sometimes I would just go to these real estate offices and just market my construction company. Within a few days, then they will call me and they will tell me that there is this house which has been sold and the owner is looking for a good construction company and we have just recommended your company. As strange as it was, my brother, this is how I started to go back on top of my game. Life was now sweet and smooth. And my father, he died on the 29th of December when I was still in that village. So I was now using my father's blood for riches. And my brother, there are other things that I did that I can't even speak about. My brother, there are things that I did at my wife's house. Then there are some herbs that were given to me. He told me that when you arrive back in your country, go and throw these herbs at your ex-wife's house and you will see what will happen. As for now, I haven't seen anything going wrong in her life. She is still living her life. My brother, everything is going smooth, but the only problem that I am having is this bag. I can't even understand what is the meaning of this bag. What is it that the sangoma placed inside that bag? Because when he placed the thing into that bag, I saw that there was something in the bag and the bag could not be lifted, because he even tried to lift the bag and it could not be lifted. He was testing to see if he can lift the bag. He then called two of his assistants and they were three when they lifted that bag. After they had seen that they could lift the bag as heavy as it was, then the sangoma gave me the bag. When I tried to lift the bag, it was empty. I just lifted it so easy. I even folded the bag, but I could see that the bag was full. I still have this traveling bag in my house, dear brother. And he told me that I should purchase a wheelchair when I arrive in my country. And I should keep this wheelchair in a separate room and no one is supposed to enter into that room. So I then bought a wheelchair at this camp. After I had managed to find another accommodation, the place that I am staying in right now, I then decided to make another room, a room whereby I don't even enter into that room. That is when I left that traveling bag. Then I went to this camp and I purchased a wheelchair. I just keep that wheelchair inside that room. I don't even want to open the room because I am afraid of what I will see when I open the room. Dear brother, please post my story. That is my secret. Dear listeners, that was a part 2 to the message that I received, and I want to thank one of our admins who gave us the translation. Please let us speak with him in the comment section. I'll be back with another episode.